I'm here putting the finishing touches on the sculpture, and the finishing touches are very important because with just little touches of clay and little movements of my tool, I can really reinforce some of the expressions and some of the mood, as well as accentuate some of the specific details on this sculpture. This sculpture, The Woman at the Well, is very interesting piece because I have an exchange going on, and from the Gospels I'm visually interpreting some of the moods, some of the emotions that have come across this meeting of Christ and a woman at the well. And so you can see the details of the face are creating a specific mood. I have the woman that is looking a little bit perplexed, a little bit taken aback, and this is not only achieved by her knitted brow, her kind of puzzled-looking lips, and also the intensity of her eyes, but it's also by, if you can see from a distance, not only her face, but her whole gesture suggests some curious concern, and you can see the tilt of her head. And even the drapery conforms to this specific idea of perplexity and curiosity and concern here. Christ, his gesture, his pose, he looks a little bit exhausted, how he's resting here, leaning up on his one shoulder. His one hand is gestured towards the woman in a kind of a discourse way, as someone would do as they would talk. The other arm is turned towards the viewer of the piece, inviting the viewer to come in, almost welcoming them into this actual scene here. An interesting point about this piece is the drapery. Instead of just making a drapery just come straight down, very simple, what I try to do on all my sculptures, specifically this one, is animate the drapery with folds and specific movements here just to liven up the actual sculpture. When you're dealing with figurative sculpture, around 90% of the figure, other than the heads and the hands, is all drapery. So instead of just making it simple, to make it very interesting. And what this actually does is it kind of breathes life into the whole sculpture. The undulations create some sort of animated movement, and it also can create a design that flows and gives some sort of coherence with the unity of the piece. The drapery also suggests and points to specific things, and I like to think that a great sculpture, anywhere you look at it, close up or far back, it should have something very, very much interesting to provide the viewer. And with this sculpture here, all the little details compose the whole scene. And specifically with this piece, the domination of the stones really grounds it, so it becomes a very solid, powerful piece. And it is very realistic in many respects, so when the viewer comes in, it will be almost like they are actually approaching two actual figures. The scale is life-size, and when you're dealing with life-size sculpture, there's a specific relationship with the viewer that is very, very interesting and convincing just at that. I'm very happy with this sculpture, and I can't wait to see it when it's finally cast into bronze. And that's basically the next step, is to cast it in the bronze and then install the piece. last finishing touches on the piece here. Some areas are intentionally left rough, but a lot of the areas have to be a little bit smoothed down. You can create color with putting heavier lines in. So I want his beard to look pretty dark. His eyes I kept a little bit shallow. They're not really carved in, so they have this this mystical appearance, kind of a translucent look about them. Experimented back and forth with the eyes hours upon hours just to get the right feel for this piece. And that's a beautiful thing about clay. I can change it knowing I can go back. It's an experiment. And consistently through a sculpture like this, it's totally experimental. I don't 100% know how the piece will look till it's actually finished. When I first started doing this piece, it was actually, I didn't know necessarily what to expect, but during the process, I explored the story of the woman at the well and gave it the best visual representation I could possibly provide. And it was a great experience for me, and I believe, therefore, that when people come and view it, they will have a wonderful visual experience that will teach them something about the Gospels. It was great.